Hello, my name's Gregory and I'm going to show you a brief tutorial about using uMap to create an interactive online map of a Christmas window trail. This is so that it can then be added and used on my website about Christmas window trails in Durham. Um, if you're one of my regular viewers though, you could just watch this as a simple uMap tutorial using its most basic features. Whether that be for a Christmas window trail or for anything else with markers. So the first thing we do is we go to the website of the tool we're going to use. That's umap.openstreetmap.fr. So this is a tool built by the French OpenStreetMap community. And you can see here at the top, we're going to click log in. And on the right, this is probably the most confusing thing. Rather than creating an account and the uMap having a copy of your password, it asks you to use an account on an existing provider. So one option is you may have an OpenStreetMap account if you've been editing the map there, or more likely is that you have a Twitter account already. So if you click the Twitter bird, it takes you to Twitter. And if you're logged in, you just have to click authorize app. And this means it won't know your password, but through clever talking, you can permission for it to know your name and your account. So now we're at uMap and you can see I'm logged in because it says my maps brackets Gregory Marler at the top. And I've not got any made yet, so we won't look at that. We're going to click this big button here called Create a Map because that's what we want to do. And we can do a few simple things to start with. In the top, it says Untitled Map. So let's just change that there and we can go example Christmas window map. You probably want to put the location you'll actually work in there, such as Belmont Christmas window map. You could also put the year if you've done this in past years. And while we're here, we also on these controls, there's a button called Change Tile Layers. Now the default, you may have noticed, is actually in French. So a few large cities have their French version of their name. If we change to OpenStreetMap, it will be in English, and that's one option. There's some other English options with different styles that you could choose there. The next thing I want to do is click this cog, which is the edit the map settings, the default settings. And if we go to default shape properties, we'll save some time because I want all our locations to have the same color, and I want it a color in the theme we're going to use. So I might choose a nice purple, I think. And then we go here. Now, the icon shape, it's good to keep on the default because if we go in the icon symbol, scroll down and not use any of these symbols, but click set symbol. And in this file name, delete that and go find your curly bracket and put name in like that. The curly bracket's normally on the right of the P. You might have to hold down Shift on your keyboard. And we'll come back in a short moment to see how important that is. And we'll click Save. You could look at those other options and see if you want to change some of them. Now on this map we can do the usual using the mouse wheel or double click to zoom in. We can also hold down Shift and then click and drag a box and find our area that we want to do our trail on. So I think I'll pick Belmont as an example. Now, how you do this exactly will depend how you're managing this Christmas window trail. If hopefully you've organised it and you know where the addresses are where people will decorate their windows. For now, I'm just going to pick some numbers at random, and we'll do that, and we'll plot where they are. So I've zoomed in here, just past the shop, so some houses. And on our controls on the right, if we pick the button at the top, that's draw a marker, we click it, and then we just go to the map and click it here. So I'm going to pick this first house on the left. And in the name, I'm going to give it the name 1 because it's the first one on our trail. And we don't need to worry about description, although you could put window at the links, or just the links if you think people will struggle to find it. And then we can click draw marker again, and we'll go, should we go about 10 down to number 10, and this can be number 2. Oh, it remembers my ones from last year, so number 2, and we can go 10, the links. Okay, and if we click save, we saved it here. Now you see these markers now show you those numbers there using from the name field. I can even edit them and change the name there. And that's because our default shape properties, the icon symbol, remember we set it to use the name there. So we don't have to change that symbol for all of them. And we can continue to put some other markers, number 3, and you can put the description there. And then maybe your next one somewhere here, like number 10 Lancashire Drive, and maybe number 9 there. So that's 3, 4, 5. Number 5 is 9 Warwickshire Drive. And you can put other information there if you wanted. And go click save in the top right. You can see there, I did this one slightly wrong, so I'm just going to click the marker and click edit. And I remember I'll cut that, that's the bit I want in the description, and it's number 4 on our trail. And it's simple as that. We've got a nice map that we can zoom in and out of. We can even, when we're editing, we can move these around if we put them in the wrong place. And of course you can also click them and delete them if you wanted to completely remove it. You could add other markers, so you could point out more clearly where the church is. It obviously shows on OpenStreetMap, but you just might want it a bit different. And we could change the style of that to show it's different. Our symbol isn't very good, so we might change the symbol on that. And you could put it to there, a church symbol. You might want to do other markers, such as sort of here, you might have carols in the park on Tuesday, or a meeting place if you're going to organise people viewing the windows together. And you see it's very simple to add different things. So we'll do that, and we'll change that colour, there we go. And we'll save all that. Now what some trails do is they do a suggested route. So on this second option, we get draw a polyline. And so we selected that, and we can start here, and we can just click and click and drag to move the mouse. We can do that. Maybe the suggested route is to make use of this footpath that's hopefully on OpenStreetMap. And these routes can help because it might help you make a loop. Maybe maybe the route went round here, and if it was a loop, it might come back there and help people find where they started. And you can save that. That doesn't really need a name or a description. It could be suggested route. And like the markers, you can change the colour to a bit like that. And there we've got our map. So as I mentioned, I built a website last year that I hope to update, which is durhamlights.com/Christmas. If you'd like to appear on this, you need to tell me a few details. If you could email them to christmas@durhamlights.com, I'll get that. And I will need to know the name of your trail. Really helpful if that's got the area of Durham in it, because it can display here. But you can have a longer name and a description, so who organised that, and if there's specific things, maybe you're offering prizes or there's a theme, or if there's some challenge. What's important for me to be able to include the map here on the page is I need the URL from uMap. So you can just select this from uMap, you can copy it and you can paste it. Now, these maps are based on OpenStreetMap. I was only able to put those markers because we could use OpenStreetMap, and it's using the imagery from that. OpenStreetMap is great because anyone's free to use it, to make use of it, and to copy it. There's specific copyright details. All you need to do if you're using it is to give credit. So just mention at the bottom that the maps OpenStreetMap and contributors, as it says at the bottom here, and on the page it says it there. So you could take a screenshot of this and then edit it in and put it on a PDF or in a leaflet. Just make sure it's either got that bit in the screenshot or you write it on your leaflet yourself. And if you make a PDF, sometimes that's helpful because you might have a list alongside it or other information about your trail, and maybe connected events in the area for Christmas. So if you include that PDF in the email to me, I can put that on the website as well. And there's, if you want to share this with other people yourself, you can click on the left, the embed button, the little sharing item, and you either select all that and edit onto a web page, or if you want to send someone to viewing the map, you can copy the URL. There are a few settings in here there are a few settings you can do. So if you want to make sure when people open this URL it's on the right place, you can save that as the central point. If we also go to settings, there's some user interface options. So if you're sharing the URL, this will say a few things such as, are the zoom buttons there? always is good for that. The search, if they want to search for locations that are already in OpenStreetMap, because you want them looking at a specific place, never is probably best. And you can go through and decide which of these you want if you're sharing that that page with other people. But for the Durham Lights website, you just need to show me the URL and have your markers there. So please do get in touch. I would love to see kind of all these places or more in Durham have Christmas window light trails.